We're doing it. We're doing it. This is us doing it.
Doing it well.
Okay, let's do it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Art of Losing Your Butt and Finding Your Why. I'm Doug.
And I'm Christy.
And this week's episode is about fatigue. Fatigue, your energy levels, feeling run down, feeling tired, feeling sick eventually, not having the
Feeling
energy.
punch drunk.
Yeah, goofy.
Yeah.
Even sometimes.
That's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's been running a little bit, and it just happened to fit for the night perfectly. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about, some natural ways and some supplemental ways that you can increase your energy levels and also change your daily habits even to combat fatigue in your life. The biggest one for me that I'm going to bring up first is going to be nutrition, food,
staying hydrated,
your water, a balanced diet.
I'm being really bad about that right now.
Water plays a big role in your life, because a lot of times you'll feel hungry and you'll actually be thirsty is what it is. Mm-hmm. And I have mistaken that quite a few times. After drinking water, I feel hungry now, and I'll take a couple sips of water and see how I feel in 20 minutes or 15 minutes. Because there's a lot of times where I'll take a couple sips of water or drink like a little small bottle of water, and all of a sudden I'm not hungry anymore, and I'm not hungry at all. And it was my brain looking for fluid. Mm-hmm. Also, I say water because you have a tendency when you're feeling run down to reach for
caffeine,
an energy drink, a Red Bull, a C4, something that's going to, get you through the rest of the day. Well, if you're reaching for that at 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe not so much coffee because that's sort of a more normalized thing, but
one cup of coffee.
That venti cold brew from Starbucks is 450 milligrams of caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
And
calories.
That's a lot.
We won't even go into the calories.
Yes, it's up there.
But I mean, I get into that habit with coffee.
Yeah.
Where I don't stop at 1 or 2.
Just keep going.
I just drink it all day.
Just keep going all day.
Which then dehydrates me.
Yeah.
Which makes me more tired. And it's a nasty little cycle. So I cap myself at no more than 2 a day. And I'm talking about like regular cups, not
right.
2 20-ounce.
Right. Not like not the venti grande or anything like that.
I actually cleaned out the Keurig at work. Mm-hmm. Got it all working again. Actually went and bought K-Cups and creamer and everything, my sweetener. And that way, when I go to work, I can fix myself a good cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And I can enjoy it.
You got your own coffee bar.
After I'm done exercise.
Right.
Right.
Got your own coffee bar right there.
Right.
Save yourself God knows how much money. I mean, some of those coffee drinks now are $6 and $7.
Yeah.
At some of the big names. For me, just as much of importance as caffeine would be sugar. Sugar was my curse in the morning. Mm-hmm. You would have, something sweet, a sticky bun, a honey bun. Someone brings in a couple dozen donuts, and you start what I call the sugar roller coaster, where you eat 2 donuts and your sugar spikes at 8:35 in the morning, and then kind of burn it off. You're moving around a little bit, and your sugar comes crashing back down, and you eat more donuts because when your sugar comes back down, you've been riding this high, your body wants to kind of normalize back to that direction, and you'll find yourself actually craving more sugar.
Yeah. Another
that's why you talk about cycle. People. Yeah, you hear people talk about not being able to say no to donuts after they've had one. That's kind of the deal there. Really easy to eat. They're light. They're fluffy. They're fatty. They're sweet. A little bit of everything that's delicious, but also bad for you.
Yeah.
It really is. Sugar can be a heck of a roller coaster.
And so is just carbs.
Carbs in general,
like
bad carbs.
My PCOS girls can feel me on this one. Just regular carbs. Mm-hmm. Now, I did a bad thing because I have not had sugar or anything. I'm on week 6 of this challenge that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And went to the store the other day, over the weekend, and they had fresh baked cinnamon raisin bread. It smelled so good.
Oh my God, yes.
So I'm like, my son likes it, my husband likes it. I was like, I'll get it. I'll just have 2 pieces of it.
Right.
Okay, yeah,
Just 2.
Because I had to have cream cheese on it.
Something. Darn
toasted
right.
with cream cheese. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So anyway, and I ate that, and let me tell you something. That wore me down. I crashed so hard after that, and stupid me thinking, I'm putting cottage cheese on it. It's a protein. It'll help. There's not enough protein in cream cheese to do that.
To offset
those carbs.
I'll tell myself anything.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm like, raisins. That's fruit. That's good for you. The cinnamon's good for your body dealing with the sugar.
Yeah, it is.
It's not really making up for all of that sugar. Mm-hmm. And cream cheese, it's dairy and protein. It's good. That's good for you.
Yeah, but it's not enough to counteract those carbs.
It's a lot. Yeah. That was my curse. Sugar was my curse in the mornings.
Yeah.
I would very quickly, get a breakfast sandwich and a cup of syrup. Just sit there and dip the sandwich in the syrup. Meanwhile, this, the breakfast sandwich that I bought has pancakes for buns or French toast, or it's like a Monte Cristo where the whole sandwich is dipped in French toast batter and put on the flat top grill. Or sugar is a dangerous one.
It has some protein.
Yeah. For me, if I don't jump on the roller coaster, I usually don't have to worry about it. Yeah. I don't have to worry about staying on it.
But it was just a stupid mistake on my part.
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
And
it can take one little slip up.
I had it. I was like, I'll just have it for breakfast on the weekend.
Yeah.
And that was enough to make me start that nasty little cycle of up and down, up and down, up and down.
I mean, how many times have you heard someone say, "I'm just going to have one"?
Yeah.
That's
me and Little Debbie's.
You think about I mean, even Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous kind of goes hand in hand here with the one is too many and 1,000 is never enough. Yep. I'm kind of that way with donuts. I've gotten to the point where it's been so long since I've had one, and now when I do, they almost make me sick.
Yeah, too sweet.
I got to have a half of a donut or a third of a donut, or maybe something more plain, just a plain glazed donut maybe. But yeah, sugar's a heck of a roller coaster. And I would say that would be the big things for nutrition, and that would bring the next category would be for
physical
combating. Would be physical activity.
Now I have to admit, for the last 6 weeks, my coworker and I have been doing aqua jogging in the pool in the morning before work for an hour. And let me tell you, with the snow days and stuff, we've missed a day here or there, and there's a big difference in how you feel during the day.
Definitely.
I mean, you're starting off the day with burning 600 calories.
Yes.
And you feel good, and we're doing it fasted.
Yep.
So, then we eat something afterward and we're feeling good and, everything. So, and then when you don't do it, because, schedules or whatever, it's you feel like crap.
Something feels wrong.
Yeah. And, on the weekend, it's just weird.
Yeah. It sounds counterintuitive when you think how is physical activity going to combat fatigue for me? But my thing was always, before I started losing the weight, I would find myself feeling tired and fatigued all the time.
Yeah.
But I didn't really do a whole lot of cardio or exercising. I did my walking around at work, maybe a couple miles a day on, working in a restaurant. Sure, probably more than most people, but still. And what happens is your body gets used to that point in time, what you've been doing. And that becomes your normal, your point of homeostasis for your body. And your body doesn't want to change from that. So it gets used to not giving you a whole lot of energy because you're not going to need it. And when you don't have it, you just kind of feel chronically tired and fatigued.
Yep.
But if you start to move, for me, it was taking a walk every day after work. And I just started with a 10-minute walk. And I can tell you that I still look forward to those walks even today because there's something different. If I get off work and I go straight home and sit down, I will somehow feel tired before dinner.
Yeah.
But if I take that short little walk around the block, even 10, 15, 20, as many as 45 minutes to an hour, if I'm feeling up for it, when I get to my truck, I feel like I've just started my day over again. And all of a sudden, I have this source of energy that I didn't even realize I had, you know?
Yeah, well, and then the other thing, though, too, is when you get more activity during the day, you sleep better at night.
Oh, definitely. Definitely the truth.
Which helps break that fatigue cycle.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and that's one of the things that I love. Like tonight, I can guarantee you, I'm going to sleep like a baby.
I'm going tonight.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning.
Yep.
We did, an hour in the pool running. I did almost 10,000 steps at work. Then came to the gym. I had, clients and everything, but I had a client cancel on me.
Okay.
So what did I do? I did my workout.
Yeah.
Strength trained, and then I still did half an hour on the bike.
You're here anyway.
And then
right?
I had another client, and I do a half an hour cardio with her.
Oh, that's awesome.
As a buddy system.
Yep.
So we were on the treadmill at an incline. So yeah, I went a little overboard today, but I'm going to sleep great tonight.
Absolutely.
Which means I'm going to be more refreshed tomorrow. So, because sleep is the next one. Sleep is like the huge.
Yeah, sleep's going to be, for me, that's another, and coming into that also, like strength training would also play a role in there if you'd like. Lifting weights, making your body stronger makes a heck of a difference. Actually getting some kind of physical work done with your body. This is really important for people that sit behind desks all day or don't do any physical activity or very minimal physical activity, people that are in sedentary positions.
And especially as you get older.
Oh, it just
women,
gets worse.
Strength training, moving the muscles with weights attached helps build your bones up. So when you do fall, you don't break anything.
Absolutely. And I would say, speaking to the office workers and the people that are sitting, you'll find yourself getting that afternoon crash. An active little activity break. The smart watches now will remind you like every hour, hey, get up and move a little bit if you've been sitting for too long, because it really does make a difference. Even for like the fluid and blood flow to your legs and your lower limbs of your body. Getting up just, every hour for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, just taking a walk around the office. Go to the bathroom, get a drink of water maybe.
And those of you that work at home, you get up from your desk and you walk through your house at least once an hour.
Yes.
I have a client that her job is very, very stressful and it's international. So she's working all hours a day.
All hours, yeah.
And she's working from home. So, they had a big project. A couple weeks ago, she was all stressed out. I'm actually texting her, drink your water.
Yeah.
Walk around. Get your sleep, because she wasn't taking care of herself.
Yeah.
And I could see it. And, she came in here and couldn't lift squat. I'm like, we're back to where we were.
Yeah.
A year ago.
Right. You lose your
so
strength.
Yeah.
You're tired and stressed out.
Yep.
You lose your strength. You lose your ability to perform. And you think that when you're groggy, you're tired, and you're fatigued, you think mentally when you're working, like you're not processing tasks and thought processes as fast. You feel like you have that mental fogginess. Well, it also translates over to physical. If you try to lift out here and you're not well rested, if you don't have if you haven't, your diet's not in point, you've been off, cheating on your diet, or, God forbid, not eating enough, you're stressed out and you're not managing your stress, you'll come in here and you'll realize that you're not half as strong as you used to be just a couple weeks before. 3 weeks you come in here and all of a sudden you can lift half the weight. What's going on? And that's exactly what's going on. That really takes a toll on your body in more ways than one. Stress management is really, really important. For some people, that's time management. We have phrasing now for things like doom scrolling, where social media is meant to trap you.
Yeah.
I see people, on a smartphone nowadays, they have a app or a setting that shows screen time usage on different apps. Just take a look at how much time you've spent in the past 30 days on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, all those. Meta. Just take a look. I promise you, if you're anything like the average American, you'll probably be kind of shocked at how many hours you've spent, even on a day-to-day basis on those apps. And those are hours that you could have been spent doing something productive, or sleeping, or learning something new, getting something accomplished. That's an hour a day you could have been spending in the gym that you've just spent sitting there mindlessly scrolling, looking at pictures and videos that people have shared that you don't even know. I only say it like that because I kind of had that realization one night that I was doing it. I was sitting there on the bed. I had closed the fold, and all my productivity completely stopped in its tracks. And I realized I had been sitting there for 20 minutes just scrolling, just watching a video after another video after another video. And it was like, oh no. Put it away. Time management. Time management is really important.
You gotta watch that in the gym too.
Oh, definitely.
I had to call out a kid the other day.
Definitely.
Yes, he's on leg curl machine, and he's got his legs up like this, crossed. Kicked back, and he's playing on his phone. And I needed that machine. Yeah. For my client, and we went and did everything around him.
Trying to be.
And we spent a half an hour going around this kid. He was still sitting there doing this. I'm like, dude, you've been doom scrolling for 30 minutes. I don't mean to be mean or nasty, but I need this machine. I was like, can we work through, please? And he's like, it hasn't been 30 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, it has. And my client's like, honey, I started at this time. It is now this time.
I pay her by the hour. We've done 6 other machines here trying not to bother you because it looked like you were doing something important. Now we have to bother you because this is the last machine I have to do
before I get to do my cardio. So let's go.
I have to pay her overtime. So I need you to move on.
Yeah. And we were nice about it, but I'm like, dude, 30 minutes. It's enough.
Yeah. And with that, managing stress and life, have a support system, please. Have some friends. Have people you can talk to. Makes a big difference. Getting it off your chest. See a therapist. You would be surprised how many people could really use that, have people out there that have nobody, feel like they have no one to talk to about their problems from day to day. I'm talking about people with spouses and friends and family members with them, and yet they still feel alone. Consider therapy. A couple days a week, once or twice a week, you sit in a room with someone. You don't have to sit in a room with someone. Now you can do it over a video or a phone call. And talk to someone and talk about how you're feeling and work through things instead of keeping it inside yourself only to be manifested in a different neurotic way, like overeating or obsessing about Facebook or not sleeping or laying there anxious, not sleeping right, because you're worried about all these things going on at the same time in your life. Just consider it. It'll make a big difference for you. Have some support in your life, please.
Yeah, because it's amazing just that hour that I run in the water with, my girlfriend at work. Yeah. And we just talk the whole time, so it makes the hour go by really fast.
Oh yeah, flies.
But the funny thing is that, we're talking about our past and stuff, and we did a lot of this crossover stuff. She's a little younger than I am.
Okay.
But a lot of our paths have crossed over the years. And talking to her the other day, I realized, I'm like, wow, when I was younger, I was really good at setting boundaries. But somewhere along the line, after getting married and having kids, and I forgot how to set boundaries. Part of the issues with me and my ex-husband was I forgot how to set boundaries.
What is that?
And I'm like, oh wow, that was on me.
You want to please somebody, you want to.
I became a people pleaser.
You want to become a people pleaser. I've been that way my whole life. It's been the hardest thing I've had to learn. Is how to say no. That's my biggest thing. Truly, I was a yes man my entire life. It's how I knew to keep people happy, and saying yes to everyone made them like you. Made you more likable. It made you be everyone's go-to guy. Well, if you're everyone's go-to guy, you're everyone's rock and person they can call on, you'll find that you have no one to call on.
Right.
That's the biggest thing I would say. Think a little bit about yourself for a minute. Who do you have to call on in a situation of despair or trouble, or just someone to talk to? You know,
Sure.
and that kind of wraps that up. Just I would say the next one would be
supplements.
Talking about supplements and
just talking about making sure you're getting your B vitamins because they're really good.
Consider a multivitamin. A lot of people do not get some level of something is off in your body through your natural diet. You're not taking in, the right level of zinc or magnesium.
So your multivitamin, B vitamins, multivitamin, iron. That's another thing.
Yep.
And if you're like me, you can't tolerate iron supplements, but eat iron-rich foods.
Oh yeah.
I love spinach, so
spinach,
I eat a lot of spinach. But yeah, the supplements don't get along with my stomach. And then adaptogens like ashwagandha, rhodiola, they both help with reducing stress in your body, so you sleep better, and you're not as fatigued.
I don't have any experience with ashwagandha, but I've seen a lot of people speak about as far as a natural remedy going. It really, truly reducing people's overall stress and anxiety levels naturally.
Yep.
And I would say anytime you can take something naturally instead of taking a Xanax and forming a dependence on it, go for it.
I would suggest though to take it at night first to see how you handle it.
Oh, right.
Because it does make some people very tired.
Look at the side effects, right?
Right.
You look at how.
So I took it first in the evening, and then I realized that they had like a tea that had it.
Okay.
And I started doing that in the morning back when I was really stressed out at work, and it helped calm that anxiety down.
Gotcha.
Maybe that's what I need to start doing before I drive. I found out my anxiety's getting a little high there. I got a little PTSD after that close call with a flying car.
I get that.
Well, it was a white car and it was coming from my rear end again. There's just too many of them.
You never know. I'm the exact opposite to that. With me, driving is my ashwagandha.
Yeah, it relaxes.
I've always been able to, if my life was like feeling out of control or everything was going wrong, I can get in my car at any time of day, but especially nighttime. You put me in a car just driving on the highway at like 3 o'clock in the morning, just cruising along, nothing crazy. And it's the most soothing, hypnotic, just peaceful place that I can think of. Other people, it's the exact opposite. I know friends that can't drive because it's so anxiety inducing for them after accidents and living in cities that they can't even handle driving. But to me, it's the exact opposite.
Years ago, it used to be coming down here.
Oh, yeah.
Just driving down 13 and hitting the beach and sitting there watching the waves and turning around and going back home. It was all good. I live here now, and so does everybody else in the freaking East Coast.
All who I used to visit. I live here.
Yeah. And now everybody's in a hurry to get in front of the car in front of them.
We used to be lower Delaware where we're at. Our state was split into two. You had the city folks from up north, and you had the country folks from down south. And there's a bridge for us here, just a little north of Dover, going up into Wilmington. There's a bridge that you go over where it's almost like the population changes.
Yeah.
You hit a certain point at that bridge. Anything north of that bridge, you better be going 100 miles an hour on that road. Anything south of that bridge, and the speed limit is perfect. Everyone's just going 55 happily. Some people are going even less, and everyone's just chilling, but not so much anymore.
No.
Now it's just everyone's in a hurry. Get out of the way.
It's the Audubon.
Pray for your life.
Yep.
Get a rosary. Giving yourself a blessing before you drive, and just hope your car's maintenance is all kept up. Make sure your brakes work.
Yeah.
But I would say the next thing would be lifestyle choices for me personally.
These are the ones I tend to have a hard time with because, first one off the bat for me is limit caffeine.
Caffeine. All
right. As I said, I've limited it to 2 cups of coffee a day. I don't do more than that.
Yeah.
So, and I try to space them out.
I actually just reintroduced caffeine in smaller doses with like a Diet Coke every once in a blue moon. And I tried an energy drink about 2 weeks ago. with a friend, split one, and that was okay. Had me feeling a little nauseous afterwards. So I'm kind of like easing back into trying it here and there, because I felt like once I got used to not having it, everything was perfectly fine. It was when it became a habit, especially with the higher doses of caffeine, and that becomes a point of homeostasis. Your body is used to you having 500 milligrams of caffeine in a day, and you're just going and going and going and going and going, and that becomes normal. And then it becomes to a point where you're not even feeling the effects of it anymore. That's just to feel okay. And that's when you're having too much caffeine in your diet.
Yeah.
It's just too much, because then you're messing with your sleep at night. You don't even realize it. You think it's getting you through work, and it is, but at the same time, not anymore.
Yeah.
You got to limit your exposure to it, keep your tolerance low to caffeine, use it when you need it, if you should choose to. But a lot of people try to eliminate it completely and, try to live off their natural energy levels.
Or switch to like something like green tea, which has a different type of caffeine in it.
Absolutely.
That,
You'll be more in touch with your actual energy levels if you're not stimulating it artificially with things like caffeine, whether that be energy drinks, caffeine pills, or any of that kind of stuff, just trying to make you get through the day at work or whatever it may be. And speaking of work, I would say work-life balance. Please think about it.
Do we do it?
It's the biggest stressor for a lot of people. Do we do it? It's always been an issue. I feel like it's an American issue. My friends from other countries talk about taking vacations very frequently.
Yeah.
Throughout the year. And I have friends from America that brag about the fact that they worked 85 hours this week.
And that they haven't taken a vacation.
That they haven't had a day off in 77 days. I have friends that work overtime and doing double time on jobs, and they're calling in on any shift, and people that have worked 60 days without a single day off. No, you're just asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Even though you might not realize it at the time. That's what I warn people about, because I know myself, I can slowly increase it without realizing it's happening. I'm slowly shifting to spending less time with friends and family, and work is slowly becoming more and more. I'm taking on an extra shift here or an extra shift there, and I'm wearing myself down. And usually, eventually, something breaks. I usually end up getting sick because I was around somebody with a cold, and it just knocks me on my ass because I didn't have an immune system left because I've been sleeping 3 hours a night.
As I yawn.
Right. And then I put myself out for 2 days. I realize I made a terrible mistake. I sleep, 10 hours a day for 2 or 3 days. And I say, this is the last time I'm doing this. From now on, it's going to be 8 hours a night. Work is going to be out of luck. I'm going to give them what my max is, and that I'm not giving them any more than that. And it usually works for quite some time for me. And then every once in a while, like the summertime comes down here in the resort area where they're demanding more help.
Yep.
It gets very busy. It's all hands on deck. The money can be good, especially down here at the beach in the service industry. And you want to work to make the money. And that's generally kind of the grind down here with it being a resort area.
And that's the way it used to be.
Summertime,
we worked our butts off.
Get your money.
You worked 2 or 3 jobs for 4 months.
Get it.
And then that allowed you for the rest of the year to chillax.
To coast. Yes.
But
or maybe take January and February off. I know plenty of people that do that.
Yep.
And that's a different kind of way of doing it, but it's still a work-life balance.
Right.
It's something that you have figured out that works. But just letting it run away from you and not having it, it's just stressful all around. You're not sleeping right. It's straining your relationships with your friends, with your family. God forbid you have a husband or wife. That can be terrible. You're not spending enough time with them. People get their feelings hurt. It adds up. It compounds. It really does. Right. It really, truly does.
I mean, I feel best right now because, working physical therapy, I'm there 7:30 to 1:30, Monday through Friday.
Yep.
Finally got that shift.
Yeah.
Then come to the gym. But what I've done is I allow myself an hour, hour and a half before I come to the gym, so I can go home and have lunch with my husband.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So at least I get to see my husband, you know, at some point in time during the day.
You scheduled something.
Correct.
You know, there's a balance.
Well, I'm not tired and falling asleep.
Right.
Because at night when I get home, I'm tired, I'm falling asleep.
Yeah.
And he knows it's time to put me to bed.
Tell me about your day.
Yep, exactly.
You know, you're asleep on the couch while your spouse is talking.
Yeah.
You know?
So, you know, and that's working out very well.
That's awesome.
You know?
That's awesome.
So I'm actually, and to be honest with you, it doesn't feel like working out. Because I like what I do in both places.
That's awesome.
But
That's
it had to work for me better.
That's the best thing.
Yeah.
You know, consider what you're doing for a living or for a job. And, you know, just think that, is this something that I'm just doing for the money? Something that I'm just doing for the time being? Is this something that I like to do? Something that I can see myself doing for 30 years? These are things you want to think about because you want it to last.
Yeah.
You know? I'm in that position right now, in this moment in time, where it's like, I need to jump to something else. Unfortunately, I need to jump somewhere else, at least. You know, I need a fresh start somewhere. And just researching it right now, seeing what's next. You know, can't be afraid to take the jump.
No.
You know, you can always make mistakes, people.
I mean,
you can always make mistakes because it can always be undone. It's not like the choice you make you have to stick with for the rest of your life.
Right.
Unless it comes to marrying somebody, and even that can be undone nowadays. You know, but as far as like things like a job goes, give it a shot. If you don't like it, find another one. It's America. You know, this isn't a pep talk to you. This is more a pep talk to myself right now to remind myself that I am not stuck in place.
No, you're not
I am
stuck.
choosing to be stuck. You know,
it's comfortable right now.
That's it. It's where you're comfortable in the moment. It's allowing me to get everything else straightened out with like my health and everything caught up on, and you know, I know my place and I know where I'm headed. I know my direction. So that's it. Once you figure that out, you're kind of, the rest will fall into place as you go.
But I mean, and sometimes you have to be a little tenacity too. I mean, because if you really want something, you've got to kind of fight for it sometimes.
I listened to a podcast the other day where they asked a woman who was a business owner, a very successful business owner, if what her favorite quote was someone ever gave her. Because before this, she had talked about all the changes she had gone through in her life that were unsuccessful or failures in her eyes that were just stepping stones to her now. And she said, my favorite quote that someone said to me that shook me was, in this life, if you feel like, the phrase was, if you're not changing, you're choosing.
Yep.
And the point was, if you hate something about your life, be it your job, your relationship status, your way you look physically, your mental health, if you're not doing something in some regard to make a change to the thing that you despise, then you are actively choosing to live in that.
Yep.
If you hate your job, but you're not doing anything to change it, you're choosing the job that you hate. So think about that.
Yep.
And make the steps where you can. You know, make a change.
All right. I think that's it because we're tired. And I'm surprised we made it through this whole thing without cracking up. Because before, we should have pressed.
We need a blooper reel.
Because that would have been one heck of a blooper reel for us.
Because this is one of those, you ever get so tired that you kind of get punch drunk and everything's funny and you're making jokes and everyone's just hysterical about it?
Yeah.
That was us 5 minutes before this started.
Yeah.
Just kind of got into a loop of laughter about random things and yeah.
So we know a little bit about the fatigue, and it was a good reminder for us too.
It's a reminder. It teaches you how to spot it too.
Yeah.
You know, keep an ay out for it. It'll sneak up on you.
Yes, it will.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate each and every one of you. If you have any questions, if there's something you want to hear us talk about, please post it below, and we'll be certain to get back to you. Probably make an episode, based on what you recommend or you ask for. Please share this with all your friends and family, Facebook, wherever you can. Subscribe.
And I want to send out a special shout out to Stefan. Thank you very much. He sent out a blast to his social media,
Nice.
repping us for the podcast. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys all so much. We're going to go get some sleep, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Later.